The 730 Project, day 42. Something happened today that was unexpected, was, at this point, it seems potentially catastrophic for a lot of reasons. Everyone in my family, in my immediate circle, is safe. It's not an injury, an illness, a death, anything like that. It is something that is a huge wake-up call for a lot of things. It's something that definitely puts a cramp in my style and has serious consequences for me moving forward in a lot of areas of my life. And no, I'm not going into specific details about this. And yes, this is something that, let's say it's an opportunity. It's, for those of you that have seen Avenue Q, it's motivation. And in Avenue Q, they say motivation is the thing that lights a fire under your ass. And it's kind of like a Marianne Williamson. It's one of those moments where it's that realization that I can't play small anymore. I have to go big. I have to do it right now, and I have to show up in ways that I have not had to show up before. So I'm still reeling a little bit from this. You know, other things happened today, the standard stuff. I got a good bike ride in, got a little bit of practicing in. And then this thing happened, and now it's like all kinds of confusion, all kinds of, okay, what happens now? Where do I go from here? And at the same time, I've got to hit the ground running in ways, again, that I haven't had to do before. And already I can tell it's easy for me to fall back into those habits that I typically engage in, because when stressful things happen, I want to shut down. I want to avoid the world. I want to distract myself, and I want to curl up in a little ball and forget everything else that's going on around me. It's not an option right now. And you know, potentially down the road, this thing that happened may seem like a blessing. It doesn't right now. And honestly, I'm freaked out by the complications that this causes. Anyway, without belaboring that point, it's it's trial by fire now, baby. It's time to put up or shut up, I guess. And honestly, there's part of me that doesn't know if I'm up to the challenge. But what do? You either rise to meet the challenge or you slink away. You know, because the thing is, if I put everything I have into it and I'm not successful, it's still not a failure. You know, for the longest time, because I've seen therapists off and on for 30 years, you know, and there's always that question, you know, what's holding me back? Is it a fear of success or a fear of failure? Because it could be either one, right? And this is the thing, and I I truly despise quoting Thomas Edison because the things that he did to Nikola Tesla are absolutely awful. And I know that he came up with many amazing inventions, but he was not a good person. Responsible for the first death by electric chair, by the way. So thanks, Tommy, for that. And I've heard it's a horrible way to die. Anyway, this gets misquoted a lot, and I don't know what the exact number is, but when asked about inventing the light bulb, which he was not actually the first one to do so, it's just he's the first one to make it work well and for more than a few seconds. But he said, I didn't fail 700 times in creating the light bulb. I simply found 700 ways that didn't work to create a light bulb. So if I put my everything into any endeavor, into moving forward from this point on, after what happened today, if I put everything I have into it and I'm not successful, it's still not a failure, I don't think. And there's all these phrases that have become cliche now. You never fail as long as you keep trying. Of course, then we're confused a little bit because Yoda said, try not, do or do not. There is no try. So now's my time to do or do not. And the way I'm feeling right now in this moment, it's kind of a coin toss. Could go either way. But the thing is, I've decided in my life that it's safer to have all these dreams and not go after them, have all these aspirations and not try to reach them. It's safer to stay up here. It's hard to live from here. I don't know where the cropping is on this. I'm tapping my heart. It's hard for me to live from my heart because I'm so stuck in my head, so intellectual about things, try to rationalize, try to be logical, which is a strange combination for somebody who is inherently creative too. But it's a lot easier to stay in my head with things because it's relatively safe there. I don't have to put myself out there. But if I'm really going to move forward from this, if I'm truly going to show up every day for 2 years, now's the time to really step it up. Because the other choice I have is at some point, years down the road, near the end of my life, looking back with regret and saying, well, if only I had done things this way, or if only I had taken that chance, if only I had shown up. And I think I'm misquoting this because I think Dead Poet Society misquoted this, but this is something I had read at my mother's funeral. Thoreau, I believe. I went to the woods because I wanted to live deep, deliberate, to suck out all the marrow of life, to put to rout all that was not life, and not, when I came to die, realize that I had not lived. There's a lot of days that I'm afraid to live. I've long been inspired by, it's quote day at the 730 Project. Something that's in one of Steve Vai's tunes from way back in the early 90s. He said, I am fearless in my heart. They will always see that in my eyes. I am the passion. I am the warfare. I will never stop. Always constant, accurate, and intense. And I really used to take that to heart. You know, I would repeat that to myself over and over again. I am fearless in my heart. You know, now with a little bit of perspective, I would say that's probably accurate for me. I'm not fearless in my mind. In fact, in my head, in my mind, I'm afraid a lot of the time, if I'm being perfectly honest. When I live from my heart, I believe that for the most part, I am fearless. I'm fearless in my heart. So for me, I've got to focus on being heart-centered right now, because my head is freaking out. So yeah, a lot of reflection. As I heard on an episode of Extreme Makeover Home Edition many, many years ago, a lot to think about, but nothing to worry about. I don't know if I'm quite there yet, but it's a good thing to keep in mind too. Anyway, huge time of change right now. And that's it for day 42. See you back here on day 43.